Yeah, going into this research, we knew that there were going to be certain aspects to the design that were going to be especially important. Because again, it was really a unique challenge to be able to test the effectiveness across all of these devices in a really unique and natural way. And so the first variable that was of concern to us kind of going into this was we really wanted to be able to control for all the variables that go into a video viewing experience, so that when we come out of this and start looking at ad effectiveness metrics across the different devices, we wanted to be able to say that if there are differences across TV, PC, smartphone, and tablet, we know that it's the device itself, and it's not because of ad quality, it's not because of the content that the ads appeared in. We really wanted to know it was the device and the experience that you get on any given device that caused those changes. The second aspect was we wanted to make sure that people within our testing environment were consuming video in the way that they typically consume that video. We wanted it to be as natural as possible. And so we knew we really needed to weave this test into consumers' actual real lives. And so in order to do that, we really wanted to make sure that they're actually viewing the video that we're testing on their own personal devices, in their homes, or wherever they typically view that video content, and also during the times of day that they typically view that content. So again, the test would be really weaved into consumers' lives rather than doing anything artificial. And so in order to do that, we did what we call kind of a virtual lab test. We actually mocked up all of the content that we wanted to test across TV, PC, smartphone, and tablet. We mocked up several different versions because we wanted to be able to send people to content that they would typically view in their real life. And we spliced in ads across all of that content, video content, so that it was the same ad experience across all of the screens. The only difference, of course, is the video ads, the number of video ads are very different in real life across the different screens. We know from past research that we've done with Yumi that ad clutter plays a big role in ad effectiveness. And so we made sure that the ad load, or again, the number of ads that appeared across all the different devices was representative of real life. So a lot of work went into kind of creating the content. Secondly, we recruited all of our respondents from a representative online panel. We wanted to really be able to do a lot with this data and really understand how it works, get really, be very confident in our sample sizes and all of that. So we had a very robust sample size of about 8,300 people. So a very large number of people were recruited, again, from a representative online sample. Completely Gen Pop audience, so we got a really kind of broad range and could kind of slice and dice the data from there. And then two very interesting things about the way we recruited people. Number one, we actually recruited people on the test devices. So we recruited people into the survey experience and into the video viewing experiences on their tablets, on their smartphones, and on PC. We also recruited them during the specific times of day that we know that they're already viewing this video. So if it's most common for people to be viewing during prime time at home on the couch or looking at their tablet in bed, that's when we recruited our respondents. And so again, the test was very much weaved into what, the typical user experience for video per device. So once they got recruited, we initially asked them a lot of media consumption questions. Number one, because we wanted to know more about how people view content across different devices. Do they multitask? Do they watch with other people? How are they actually viewing the content? But also, again, we wanted to make sure that people within our test, once we start showing them the video content that we're testing, that they're actually in the natural environment that they would typically watch that video. So again, if people typically watch their tablet at home in bed, that they're actually in that environment when they're taking our test and when they're viewing the content that we created for them to watch. We directed people to content based on, again, their real life viewing habits. So they're watching something that they would typically watch in real life. And then for each screen, they were actually randomized into control and test groups. We wanted control groups because for all of those traditional brand metrics, we always kind of need to have a baseline for where each of the brands kind of stand before any kind of ad exposure. The control group, of course, didn't see any ads. The test group did see ads and watched essentially 20 minutes of video content. Again, very real life experience for participants. Afterwards, they took a post-exposure survey where we got all of those great traditional brand metrics that everybody's used to, like ad recall, brand perceptions, brand favorability, and all of those great metrics. And then afterwards, we actually did webcam interviews. We wanted to really hear directly from the people and really add a qualitative component to this test as well. As you know, this was very quantitative because we had over 8,000 people in our test, but we also wanted to hear directly from consumers. So we had them turn on their webcams and we did really interviews with people and heard directly from them and got great video footage of what people's tablets look like, what their environments look like when they watch different types of video content. So we heard directly from participants.